We always have a blast chatting with our guests about all sorts of different topics, but sometimes we go off the rails and dig deeper into their automotive and motorsports pasts. As a bonus, let's go behind the scenes with this pit stop minisode for some extra content that didn't quite fit in the main episode. Sit back, enjoy, and remember to like, subscribe, and support Break Fix on Patreon. We had a great yet bittersweet time reminiscing with GTM Club member John Richter at VIR just before he transfers from our DMV region to Austin, Texas, where he will join our Southern States region. John will surely be missed, but let's take a minute to get to know him better and recount some stories, both good and bad, about his time in the DMV.
And as we pull in for a quick pit stop, remember to like, subscribe, and support us on Patreon.
And as always, I'm your host, Brad.
And I'm Eric.
So let's roll.
So on to John.
Yeah, right. So John, you have been with the club now. I think you're what we consider like the second wave, right? And you've had a lot. Yeah, you have a pretty low member number.
36?
Yeah, I think that's correct.
The fact that you know your member number off the top of your head.
You know what? I've looked
is
at my card. I covered
congratulatory.
that card.
You got to get the Gen 2 cards. I'll send you the new.
The
cards.
QR
Gen
code.
2?
They got
Yeah.
QR
Got
codes
chip?
on them.
Yeah. So the way the new cards work, it's
You
got,
plug it in.
no, I would love to have a chip
You
card.
can use it at every chip reader.
Fuck yeah.
But I know the new ones have a QR on the back, and so the way it works is when you have your membership card, if you wanted to go to Chaz's, let's say they want to verify you, scan the QR code, it brings you to your member profile, and they can say, oh.
Nice.
And that's why we encourage everybody to put their headshot and a picture of their car and fill out their profile completely, because it helps to do the verification process. So we finally got smart. You know, it only took us 10 years.
I think my profile pic's still baby Jesus, though.
Oh, yeah, that's the best. That's
You
the best.
won't really recognize me.
Hipster Jesus. Yeah. But so anyway, so you've been with us a long time now, and if I recall, I was your first instructor.
You were.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Where
Learned
was
about
that?
A lot of
Was that
golf.
Shenandoah?
That was Shenny. 2015 June.
And how did you get into the club? How did you find out about us?
Oh, well, the one and only Mike Crutchfield sat next to me at work. Convinced me to instead buy a Mustang instead of a
Geometra?
Ford Focus.
Oh, God.
You could have got an ST. You could have joined the front wheel drive revolution,
I could have, but I was very car illiterate at that point.
and you got a Mustang.
I got a Mustang, yeah.
Good
Well,
for
it was
you.
like $2,000 more.
But there's something special about your Mustang, and what is that?
Oh, it doesn't have power. It doesn't have cylinders.
That's not
It's
true.
missing something.
It's
What's it
missing.
It's missing 4 cylinders.
You know,
I
it's
think.
missing a lot of front located weight.
Yes.
So
You got a lot of space under the hood
yeah, you
because
can
you're
fit a
missing
bit
4
in there.
cylinders. But you know what that just means? That means you can fit an even bigger turbo.
That's true.
You got
Yeah.
plenty of room for a big turbo.
big
40,
turbo.
42 mil. So.
Big
Yeah,
turbo.
something nice.
Yeah.
So John drives an EcoBoost Mustang, 2015.
With the power pack
I
from
have.
Ford.
It's got the competition pack, right? You got the big 4-piston Brembos.
Yeah, it's like a fully loaded performance package, which is basically like the years following the 2015s. They added like a track pack, but this is like the equivalent of.
Yeah, because you've got the GT brakes and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
basically my car has an EcoBoost engine, but is the base GT model for all intents.
I will say, before Ford brought out the EcoBoost again, essentially the SVO for a new generation, I was all in on it's got to be a V8, got to be a V8, got to be a V8. But after riding in John's car and all the tasteful mods that he's done to it, the tasteful power mods and everything, I am turning a new leaf. I could totally see owning an EcoBoost. It's an amazing car.
I would own one if I could gut it.
Oh, if you got it, you get 50-50 weight balance.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
That's
you could
it.
cut like 500 pounds out of that thing with just seats and.
Yeah.
It's a
Wires
Ford
and stuff.
944 turbo.
Pretty
Yeah.
much. Pretty much. And to be honest with you, I drive a lot of cars, and so you were talking about having experience with different cars. I've driven John's car on track. I've driven 5.0 Mustangs on track. I have not driven Shelby 350s yet, but I've ridden in a 350 and a 350R, several of them on track as an instructor. I like the EcoBoost better as a all-around track car on a more affordable track car because it is better balanced. And if you could lose weight out of it with the power pack that you have from Ford, I think you would run down a lot of 5.0s. And I've seen your car.
Oh, yeah, I run
you're a
down people all
talented
the
driver, and you're running people down all the time with that thing. And it's amazing what you can do with an EcoBoost Mustang. But if I had to go V8, and you told me the last car I'd ever owned was a Shelby 350, I'm totally
Oh,
okay with that,
yeah.
right? So there's both sides of that. I'm not saying the 5.0 is bad, but when you drive the identical car, say they're prepared the same way, like John's car with all the 5.0 stuff on it, but with the 4-cylinder, and you drive the 5.0, you realize you have a big, heavy boat anchor up in the front.
See our previous comments about Andrew Bank.
Yeah, and so the weight balance is thrown off by the V8, and so again, I like the 4-banger. You're doing a great job with it, a great car, and I got no complaints. So
I don't either.
yeah,
It's been reliable pretty much. Well, he done oil changes and brake fluid changes.
The only issues you had, there was an incident at Shinny where you and your co-driver went off, and then there was the exhaust saga.
Yeah, I learned how to change a turbo because of that. But
yeah.
that was all human error, I think.
Yeah.
Human error, and then
Self-inflicted.
some
Well,
Ford engineer idiocy with donut gaskets. But
Yeah, they need to do away with that. Somebody needs to create a different.
If
way
I
for
was
it.
to buy an EcoBoost, the first thing I would change is that bullshit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
somebody's
because-
got to make a header or a different downpipe or something
yeah,
that gets rid of that
some
garbage.
custom fab work.
But
or
I mean,
something.
and it's funny. Like even Mark Francis was saying today, he goes, "I didn't realize that was an EcoBoost." And when you went by, because you have an exhaust on it, you
It
thought,
sounds
Oh, it
really
burbles.
good.
yeah,
Yeah.
it sounds cool. A lot of burble. It's kind of like if you're caught in the wrong light, you're like, is that a 2-liter GTI? Like, what is that?
Thinking about Porsche Al, who we've had on the show before, and what he said about the Jag, because he bought the F-Type, and he went with the supercharged V6 versus the V8. And talking during the Brit special, the Wade brothers both said that they've had experience with the V8 and the V6 supercharged on track. I think the same comparison is with the Mustang, with the EcoBoost versus the V8. It's just the V8s in some of these cars. It's too much weight, too much power. It throws off the entire weight balance of the car. The EcoBoost is a really excellent option for the Mustang to make it a driver's car.
Yeah, and not to really belabor the point and go down this rabbit hole, but I often wonder, and I've never gotten the chance because there aren't many of them, is to be in an S550 V6, because I'm wondering if that's the compromise, right? You're getting the torque from the 6-cylinder without the turbo stuff, but not the weight of the V8, so it sits kind of in the middle, but they didn't make that many of them, especially with that kind of package and manual and all that. But I would really, and those sound pretty cool with an exhaust, but I would be really hard-pressed to find fault in that one either,
I don't know that would work for any of us, though, because we like to mess with things.
That's true.
To try and getting power out of that V6. I mean, you're going to be adding a power adder to it.
But you're talking 300 and some odd horse, right?
Yeah,
But you
it's
can't
NA,
you can't just chip it and get 60, 70 horsepower out of it.
No, but then you don't have to worry about the heat issues
Yeah.
that John has to constantly maintain.
If you're happy with the 300 and whatever horsepower that comes with
That's good
stock.
power. Again, if gutted, power to weight ratio changes, right? So
Yep. I think
So-
you could do some stuff with it.
Yeah.
I'd be game to try it.
I would too.
So is the Mustang your first foray into becoming a car guy, or
Yeah.
were you kind of a car guy before getting it?
Oh no! Oh my god! So I like hated working on cars or anything really about cars until I bought the Mustang, and then started realizing the fun you can have with the right car.
Yeah.
Previous to this, it was like either like my stepdad being like, "Oh, go fix my SUV, go change my tires or something." It's like
you
a
change
chore.
the tires on
And I was just like,
my-
"This is bullshit. I don't want to do this."
my Ford Edge.
Yeah. And then oh my god, then my first car was like a 99 Oldsmobile Intrigue with the worst transmission ever. It would shift and give you whiplash every
I
time.
just threw up in the back of my throat.
Yeah. At one point I had to make sure I didn't travel more than 50 miles in any direction because I knew I couldn't get home because it would just stop working, stop shifting.
Wow,
It was pretty bad.
that's pretty terrible.
Yeah. So that's probably where my dislike of cars kind of kept going.
So there were no car posters on your wall as a
Oh
kid?
no, not at all.
Oh, no.
No, I had college sports stuff on my walls.
Michigan State.
Yeah, yep. But after that, it got worse. I think. Well, not worse. My mom would disagree. But yeah, then when I graduated college, she gave me her 2003 Pontiac Vibe, which
Which was not a GT.
Yeah.
It had the
It was
cutting,
good.
the
You know, it
two-tone.
works.
That's the baby Aztec.
It's a Toyota Matrix.
I know, but it's
branded
like
as
the
a-
baby Aztec.
So if you have one of those, never buy Pontiac parts. Well, I guess you can't anyway.
Apparently, it's a
'cause
Toyota transmission too. In that, I mean, I know it's a Matrix, but it's a Celica Trans. If you ask Racer Ron.
To go off on a little bit of a tangent, thinking about the Pontiac vibe and some of the other GM cars of that era, one of our members who is away on military I guess, assignment right now is a huge Chevy Cobalt fan. And he would be happy to know that there was a Chevy Cobalt in the paddock today showing up for the Chin event. Yep, black Chevy Cobalt. He's probably making 5,000 horsepower. Because that's what you do with those cars.
Yeah. I thought about asking him if he was going to trade up to an HHR because I hear they're even better than the Cobalt.
Yeah.
But at any rate, so John, going back to coming to GTM and whatever, so you've been with us now for what feels like forever. You've had a lot of different roles in the club. You have been a huge influence in changing the direction of the club from multiple levels, personal level, technological levels, all over the place. So let's talk about that a little bit. Let's talk about your experience with us here in the DMV, because you're a DMV member.
I am a DMV
for
member.
For the next 2 or 3 weeks.
By the way, please be totally candid. We can take it.
Oh, yeah.
You
Tell
can be
us what sucks.
100% honest.
Well, where do you want to start?
Wherever you want to start.
Yeah.
This is your show.
You've seen us. You've seen the club grow.
And,
I have,
and
yeah.
we can cut and edit.
Oh my
so
god, I
don't
guess
worry
from
about
okay, so I started working my way up very quickly, I think. Like I had 1, maybe 2 A group days or like events, maybe.
it. And this is when Chris Liu was the CI of HOD.
Correct.
Yeah.
And he and the HOD folks were very, very kind to GTM. We started this instructor candidate program trying to build our instructor drivers university thing, and they were our guinea pig. They allowed us to bring up instructors.
Our stuff.
That's why when we started GTM, we had probably 10 instructors, and now
We have like
80% of the
half
club is
club.
instructors. It's because Hooked on Driving took a chance on us and allowed us to grow exponentially with our instructor pool. And now we have an instructor union.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
But no, so
accurate.
and I'm and I didn't. So and to be perfectly honest, I didn't know John from Adam when I got in the car with him, but a lot of really good natural talent for somebody who wasn't into cars as a kid.
No, I remember you talking about him and saying that my student today,
He's awesome.
He will do anything I say. He just gets it,
Oh, he's
and
a
he will
machine.
do it. He's a machine.
Yeah.
that's exactly what
remember
you
you
said.
saying
He is
that.
the
Yeah, it's like
machine.
John is
You're
a
like,
machine.
do this, and I was like, okay.
Send it.
Every
Let's go.
time, just like change this one little thing. I was like, okay.
But then it got to the point where we're ragging on each other, telling jokes, like bullshitting in the car. It was one of the most fun weekends, and I'm like, wait, he's an A student? Like, this isn't right. Like, something's wrong here. You know what I mean? But it could tell right away, like, the chemistry was there. John fit in with the rest of us crazy Looney Tunes over here. But there was already natural driving talent there, whether you realized it or not. And so you excelled quickly and you were confident. But the thing is, you hadn't had the car that long. You hadn't had a manual that long.
brand new.
Everything was new, and it was just like, the man is a Cylon. Like that's what I kept thinking. I was like, he is cyborg. He's a cyborg.
But it's not even just John, because we didn't just gain John.
No, we gained Erin as well.
We gained Erin, and
Killer.
she is the same way.
100%.
I think her
It's a
instructors would
Michigan
say
thing.
the same thing about her.
It's
Born
a
and
Michigan
raised.
thing.
Yeah.
That's what it is, man. Cars are in the blood. You
It
guys
is
just
in
don't
the blood,
realize
yeah.
it. It's all that Flint water.
Yeah, whether you like it or not.
It's a little
Yeah,
too much
it's
iron.
not water. It's 5W30.
Yeah. So John, let's talk about that since Brad brought it up. You went through class of, I forget what it was, a bunch of instructor
2017,
candidates.
I think.
all
something like
together,
that.
right?
5,
Yeah,
6,
we
7
we
months.
tortured you guys for like a year.
Oh my god.
It was pretty bad.
You started at NJMP. I think I had just joined C Group at some point.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
like 3 events.
I think
later.
you and I both joined C Group at Shenandoah. Chris Liu came up
Yeah.
and said, "You're both in C."
I think I was literally in B for 1 event.
Yeah,
That was it.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean the instructor program. What did you think of that?
That was great.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys were writing all the material for our training program at the same time. So it's like reading it as it's being edited.
And providing your feedback. I mean, telling us what was
Yeah.
working, what wasn't working.
Yeah, for me, like being... A lot of my confidence just comes from like what not to do.
Yeah.
So like having that there.
Well, you crushed it at the SCCA school. All of our guys did that year. It was awesome.
I think there was
Joe. I think
as
my
Joe
like,
Overenberger. Who's another GTM
fun.
member.
We had fun.
One of Brad's early instructors.
He was one of my early instructors. With one of the few SCCA events I've done. Unfortunately, it just doesn't fit into my schedule. But
that event was very helpful because that was the first time I've ever seen them throw a red, and
that was wild. It was from what they said, it was the first SCCA instructor school that it rained, which provided its own dynamic.
That was awesome.
And then they threw a red flag at us, which for most of us, that's the first and hopefully the only time we ever see a red flag.
It was interesting to see everybody's reaction to that.
I literally was like, "What the fuck? What is this flag?" Like I had to like rack my brain.
Mythical red flag.
I've never seen this before. And then like the next weekend or like a few weeks later at pit race or something. I think some Corvette hit a wall or something. They threw a red, and I was like, "I know what to do." This is great.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, outside of, becoming an instructor in short order, and and again, everybody that's had you, who's been your student, they've sung your praises, you're a great instructor, you're very methodical, again, you're a machine, very consistent.
But very personable.
Exactly, right? And everybody likes John. And he's blushing a little bit. You guys can't see it on the microphone.
All the way to his forehead.
Right.
That's the wrong direction.
Yeah, right. But let's move on to some of the other things. You became a region chief. You partnered up with Mike Crutchfield yet again for 2 years and change?
Something like that. Yeah.
So John was involved in leading our DMV region, planning events, helping us get things off the ground, summer bash, all that kind of thing.
Why'd you quit?
I don't remember. What was the reason?
I
just
don't
kind
know.
of
you got burned out on it, probably. It's a lot of work.
You needed to reset because there was a lot of things going on.
A lot of life things happening.
So we brought in Tom Wendy instead, and Tom's been filling John's shoes, and maybe there's an opportunity for John to rejoin the board. We'll see.
And to any of our listeners, we have another region chief in Region 1 that would like to step down. If there's anybody that's interested in taking that person's place, please reach out to me or Eric or Mike Crutchfield.
Maybe somebody from Virginia for a change, representing, the Potomac side.
Wait a minute, do we have listeners in Virginia? I don't even know.
It sounds very targeted.
Did people use the website?
We have a website?
Oh, God.
All right, so back to John. John was a crew chief.
He was a crew chief, multiple-year VMC member. Always donating, trying to keep the club going.
Now our highest Patreon.
Yeah, our highest Patreon. Setting the record. But also there's many awards. From our many awards nights, John probably has the most wins out of anybody.
Those awards.
Yeah, I bet they're special.
I display those awards,
but they change every year, right? We're always changing them a little bit. But in some respects, they change because you brought something new to the table, and Brad and I go, well, I guess we got to create an award around that.
Oh no!
Yeah, John's one of the only members where we actually create awards just to give him an award.
It's hilarious.
Snowflake.
But, as one of them, because now we have a tier, because, we had the DE champion for a long time, which is our MVP, Enthusiast of the Year award. But we have other ones that are just a special fellowship award and stuff like that. But what was it? I think you were the first recipient of the GTMer, which is somebody that embodies the whole kind of ideology and the philosophy and the whole kind of send it way of being and what it is to be part of the club. And so, again, we designed it around you, but then it was it makes sense, right? It does, yeah. And then Andrew won it the next year, Andrew Bank he's another one that, he loves being here. He loves
they have John and Andrew and many of our club members, they just have this infectious personality and persona. It's just, you just want to have a beer with them and give them a hug and just be friends with them.
Absolutely. And and it brings more people in, and that's how we've grown and all that kind of thing. But even on the other side of that, some of the more comical ones, you got memed.
That one was a fun one. I had good times.
You killed it with that. With your O face.
John
you
totally.
Just said one day you were like, you should just go do that face. And I did it for 7 different
started at Rolex, right? It's God.
Well, because he goes to the track, he climbs to the highest mount he can find at the track, and then he looks down and takes this selfie with this O face. I mean, nobody
It's hilarious.
nobody embraces their inner goofiness like John does.
Dude,
You're all in the photos.
when you
too,
took
I
that one
tried.
in New Jersey, I was like, I didn't know you could get up there.
How did he?
I think he climbed a cell tower or
Yeah,
something.
right? I was like, God, where was
Is he
he?
over the dirt track? Like,
Good God. Oh, it's so good. But yeah, stuff like that. But again, it brings something to the table, and we've been able to really like leverage that and then find other people that emulate that. But I mean, you're a trendsetter, right, in some respects, and we appreciate that, you know? So, and then multiple cannonball runs.
yeah.
Right? I mean, you're going on the long hauls with us, you and Erin together. I mean, road Atlanta.
And we
Nah, I
have
wanna
to
go back.
we have to point out that they're not just going on these cannonball runs; they're driving their track car to the track.
With
They're not trailing the car.
Let's
They're-
talk about the trailer that goes with the car.
You can't mention me and not talk about that trailer.
Dude, that trailer. And we got to talk about Dominion. All right. we're
Well,
gonna
that
talk about
was
the-
Redneck City. I was at home with my people there.
Oh, all right. So John bought this, like, I got to call it what it is, piece of shit Harbor Freight special.
Oh yeah.
Assembled it in his basement. And then made all this rigging to hold. I mean, it's ingenious. He's got 4 tires on there. He's got toolboxes on there. He's got 2 14-gallon gas tanks.
I thought it was a dolly that he converted.
No,
No, it's a Harbor Freight.
it's a Harbor Freight.
It is a 4x4 utility trailer,
Yeah.
I think, with a
And
like better
and
tires
it
on
well surpassed the 30-day, 30-mile warranty that Harbor Freight gave
Oh,
it. I mean,
definitely.
by far. And this thing's comical. I mean, it really is. It's made out of like basically perforated angle steel from like Home Depot that he cut up and all this stuff.
Much like where you get your Tesla parts.
Yeah, but John, being a developer in his career, for our listeners, he does take things to a logical conclusion. We'll call it that. And so he decides
way
with
too
his
terrible.
28 gallons of gas that he carries around on the back of his trailer.
He's got a trailer fireball.
It's not an exaggeration.
But let's go to your thought process. What were you thinking?
Well, my car drinks a lot.
Yeah.
With Erin and I driving it both back to back at events, that's essentially doing like 4 days straight driving.
Yeah.
I'll go through easily like $200 worth of gas.
And for those that don't know, fuel at the track is probably what, a 25% markup, 30%.
So,
Unless
just,
you're
so
at, like,
perspective,
Watkins
right?
Glen.
Yeah, for right now, gas at VIR this weekend is down. It's cheap. It's at $3.48 a gallon for 93 octane.
That's a
Yeah,
deal.
but 93 at an actual gas station off campus
It's like
is
$2
like
a gallon.
$2.75.
Yeah,
something
whatever.
like
Yeah.
Now it's down. Usually it's $6 a gallon, right? So it's on sale.
that. 100's usually about $8 or $9.
Everything else outside of 93 right now is $9 a gallon. I looked. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. But anyway, aside the point. So gas is expensive. So
Gas
it
is
makes sense.
expensive. So when you guys carry
build a
cans around.
fireball.
Yeah.
So yeah, I buy these like 2 14-gallon tanks, rig them up in this like really janky like metal contraption that I bolted to the trailer.
Yankees being kind.
It's like those. I don't even know if they are. These like they're actually bendable like aluminum trim pieces that have holes in them. And I just bolt them together with like
Yeah.
some really cheap bolts.
So he's adding weight to this Harbor Freight trailer.
You know what? It was in the front.
It has like 30-pound axles. That's like the best part, right? It's designed.
That's like going fishing for a shark with 5-pound test.
If Tanya's listening, it's designed to pick up mulch. Okay, that's what it's used for.
It is, yeah, and sod. You can fit a lot of sod on
A lot
it.
of side.
Are you
Yeah.
taking the trailer with you to Texas? Because you might
I
as well
am.
leave it at Tanya's house. She would love to use it.
Ooh. Well, maybe I will then. Yeah, that's a good use for it. I took it apart, so now it's just, it's in multiple pieces. I'm going to take the wheels off probably this weekend. So I can put it in a shipping container. But
Nice. So at any rate, you build this trailer, and then you get this ingenious idea. Well,
oh, yeah, how can we upgrade it?
yeah, because you were pumping
go
fuel
better.
manually, and
Yeah.
there's many videos of John, and you hear this.
Oh, it's infamous.
Squeak, 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 squeak.
His
squeak, squeak.
forearms are 2 feet
They are.
around.
Yeah.
because
You know
of
how
this thing.
vascular these forearms are?
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
from what you think.
So by the time we got to basically the end of that season with your trailer and all this stuff,
Oh, yeah.
and us making fun of you basically,
I had the greatest idea ever. Let's buy a powered gas pump, like a legit 15 gallons per minute pump that you put on a transfer tank that you throw on the back of your pickup or on for like farm equipment. So I buy this thing and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna make it work for these tanks. It's like this $350 pump. It's like it's fucking legit. I have this like jump starter battery, and I'm like, okay, it just has 2 leads coming off the pump.
So he's adding spark
Yeah,
to
yeah.
his fireball.
So I put like
We
some
have
gator.
no limit on oxygen. So
Yeah.
we're ready.
And these like gator clips. I'm like, okay, you connect A to B, whatever. Just turn it on. It's fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
So we get the Dominion. It's like, okay, time to fuel up. Finally.
Wait, how long did you spend putting this apparatus together while we were at the track?
Oh, it was like what, 30 minutes or an hour?
I thought it was, it was a pretty long time.
I literally just got it in like 2 or 3 days before. I was like, I'll figure it out at Dominion, whatever. I'll plug it in. It's fine. So, yeah, I started hooking it all together. The pump is basically literally zip tied to the side of the gas tanks.
The janky metal.
Yeah, and the pump is not light. It
Yeah.
weighs like 20 pounds. And yeah, so I like run the electrical cable. It's like what, 15 feet long, something like that. So I run it like all the way under the tent. So I'm thinking at least a little bit. It's upwind, whatever. I think it's fine. Connect it to the battery, the gator clips. It actually worked. Like we did turn it on.
Oh yeah, it worked.
It pumped real fast and spilled gas everywhere.
Because somebody forgot.
I don't remember what I forgot.
Well, here's what happened. Everything had brass fittings.
Oh,
And you dry fit everything
yeah,
with no dope and no Teflon.
Well,
So
I had
every fitting leaked. I kid you not, listeners. If you've seen the movie Zoolander, it is exactly the gas station scene from Zoolander. There was gas pouring out of every orifice and every crack and every seal.
it's dripping.
on
It's
that
fine. It's pumping. It's
But
good.
there was a mist. Everybody was covered in gas.
You guys were freaking out.
Dude, it was everywhere.
It was 20% efficiency getting into the car.
Yeah, to correct the record, I did have the white tape, the plumber's
Teflon?
tape.
Yeah, but it wasn't on the
'Cause
fittings.
No, it was, but I didn't realize gas like chews through that stuff.
Oh,
So you
yeah.
gotta get the yellow stuff.
Oh, it was terrible.
Gotta think.
Even
like the
Harry, I
meme.
remember Harry was like, "What asshole spilled gas everywhere?" It was everywhere.
He's one of
Pressed me
ours.
down.
Dude,
It's like,
Harry
you're
went
dumb.
off.
Oh my god. I remember Mike being like, we're gonna die.
it was
We are going to die.
It's a good thing Judd wasn't there smoking a cigarette.
Oh my god, he would have been like, flicked it.
You know what? I think, was that after one of us came in? So, like, technically the rotors were still, like,
Yes.
by hundreds of
Yeah.
degrees. So,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
anything dropped on it, it would have...
It was definitely before I ran over a cinder block. That was pretty bad too.
If anyone wants a $350 pump, like, let me know. I got one.
Yeah, 100%. So, but there's been other comical things like that. So let's talk about Summer Bash. What was it, last year? Yeah, it's Shenandoah, where he won the Oleg award.
Oh, yeah. Do maintenance in the paddock.
Yeah, he spent all day with the car on all fours.
Showed up. I literally just showed up to, like, just hang out and chat. And I ended
And
up
work on
under
your
the
car.
Is that the Oleg Award or the Kerwin Award?
Oh, that's brutal. That's savage.
He's not listening.
But you got a chance to drive Freak Show, though. That was fun.
Freak Show's fun. I miss Freak Show.
I miss Freak Show, too. That was a great car.
Yeah.
Man.
Who owns it? Can we buy it?
HOD owns it.
The Arrigo.
Really?
Yeah, Rigo's bought
It's
it.
same like condition
It's
and
left it
everything?
completely alone. They haven't done anything with it.
Okay, I'm moving to Texas. We'll cover that in a bit. But I need something to drive out here.
100%.
So can
We gotta go get Freak Show.
We will have to send a message to the Arrigos and
That's
see.
my
Yeah.
favorite E46.
Because
man.
if we can get that a good deal, I would love to have just a car out here. I can
Mona,
drive.
if you're listening, give us a call. We know you don't want Mike to have 1,500 cars
Especially
on your
a
property.
school bus, orange or yellow or whatever color that is.
Which we got to fix
And
that
gray.
stupid color.
Oh man. So anyway, so what other good stories you got from the club all these years?
Oh my god.
We talked about Brad's bachelor party.
Yeah, I could do that.
That's a good
No. What happened at the bachelor party stage?
I mean, we got to talk about Camp Counselor John.
Well, Camp Counselor
I
John,
don't know,
yes.
Camp Concert John needs to come out right now.
I mean,
All I know
What I
is
mean.
if I had kids, I would not let them go to John's camp.
oh man, that mustache was brutal.
It is. It was too short.
It was
Much
too
too
short. It
Yeah.
was way too short.
He showed up with this janky ass mustache, driving a church van that said free candy on the side.
Well, I mean, you got to back up the story a little bit and explain how we got to this point. Well, you got to blame Sam 100% for it.
Okay, yeah, because Sam cannot grow a beard, but he can grow a mustache.
Yeah, really bad one.
Sam is Ricky Bobby and like
Oh my
Daytona.
God. Rodney Sandstorm is Sam.
Yeah.
He needs to be on All Gas No Ass or whatever that other
You ain't first, you'll
that
last.
YouTube channel is.
Yeah.
Man, his mustache is terrible. So Sam was on this kick for a long time about growing these ridiculous, 80s mustaches, 70s mustaches, looking like, Winston Cup winners and whatnot. So at Brad's bachelor party, most of us, for whatever reason, had beards of varying lengths, but we all had facial hair. And so the challenge, because it's Brad's bachelor party, and you signed off on it, he was like, Sam's like, everybody's got to shave their mustache off. And
Shave the beard,
shave
leave
the
the
beard
mustache.
off. And go with a full mustache. And, Kerwin and I are looking at each other going, there ain't enough sharp razors at the Walmart to make this happen. Because for me, it's like shaving steel wool, So we get down to it, and I come out, I'm looking like Super Mario, and, Sam's looking terrible, and Kerwin looks like Carl Weathers, which was awesome, and then and all this. And then John comes out looking like a camp counselor. It was pretty bad.
Good.
It was pretty bad.
Bad news
But
bears.
we made it work with the awesome IMSA sunglasses that we bought in
did.
bulk. That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
that
I
guy
joined the Walmart crowd with those.
That guy hooked us up. But to further that story, we rolled around Salem's all that weekend as the
We were known as the Mustache Crew.
wearing our Unicorn Squad T-shirts.
The drivers recognized us. Not the Monster Girls, but whoever they were, they recognized us.
Rich Energy.
Yeah, the Rich Energy Girls.
I got comments from the BMW girls with the VR racing stuff.
Yeah.
I love your shirt.
I had the
Shave
pole.
your mustache.
I had the fastest. Remember, I had the fastest time on the Mazda Motorsport Simulator for like most of that whole weekend.
Yeah, I think I was second or third.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
I failed terribly.
Yeah, you were pretty good at that light reaction game though.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, but anyways, the Mustache Crew, Unicorn Squad, all that, and then we come to I don't remember which morning it was after so many mornings.
Were I'm shirtless?
Well, there was that, and then there was Harry passed out on the recliner outside.
He
But
was lit.
he was done. He was baked. But John decided for breakfast to eat nearly a half a gallon of ice cream, which I still, to this day, cannot understand how you did
I
that.
did that in high school. It's like,
We know that's why you were the way you were.
it's a grade A breakfast.
Dude, I don't
You
know.
got your dairy, you got your fat.
That's breakfast.
It's breakfast. Breakfast.
Yeah, mint chocolate chip ice cream.
Good God, dude.
Love that.
I just sat there at the table watching you spoon after spoon eating
I didn't
this ice
finish
cream.
it all.
Well, what was better, that or all of us eating those giant tomahawk steaks?
Oh my God, those were awesome.
Little
Those were
salt, little
legit.
pepper, little cayenne.
Oh man, Doug, if you're listening, man, those were amazing. I need to come by and get some more.
Please come over.
Yeah, right. Another guy we missed. He's off-roading now, so
He used to track.
He used to track. Hashtag used to track. But I mean, so many adventures. You came with us on the Easter weekend, weren't you? There with Bruce when we did the gorge and the hiking and all that stuff.
Yeah, we were up there because we turned
Oh,
it into
you
a
were
little.
there.
We turned it into a little retreat.
Yeah, it was the cemetery.
We sat there like idiots outside on the porch of the Falls Motel in our hoodies, like freezing our ass off. We're like, we could just go inside. This is dumb.
No, the best part is we were sitting there taking pictures of different hand movements inside the car.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
That
yeah.
is, so if you're
Okay, arm
That
out the
was my
window.
car, actually.
yeah, so if you're on Paddock Pal and you look at the hand signal stuff, that is John's car in the parking lot.
Well, it was
from
Bruce.
that weekend.
Yeah. That's the same weekend you clogged the toilet.
That's the same weekend you and I shared a bedroom.
Yeah, it's the lumpy mattress.
Dude, not nearly as weird as when Harry and Bowser shared a bedroom, but that's for another episode.
I don't need to hear about it, Harry Bowser.
Dude, it was like the scene from Titanic, right? Where they're in the car and they're doing their thing. Like Brad and I go down there. Brad and I go down because they were on the front side, down on the lower part, and we go down there to go pick up Harry and Bowser, and we knock on the door, and all I hear is Bowser's like, "Come in!" And the windows are fogged up, like it's raining inside the room, right? I mean, it's just thick with fog. So I just push the door open, and Brad's over my shoulder, and I just hear this right? And he just got hit in the face with all this humidity, and it must be like 90 degrees in there, right? And Harry comes out and he's in a towel, and you're just like, what is going on in here, right? And Bowser's like, what's up, guys? I'm like, we're gonna go. Call us when you're done, all right? But I will say, when I came to wake you two up that weekend, and
I answered in my boxers.
well, the best part is so did Brad apparently, right? And he's Mr. 6'4". He cracks the door open and he's poking his head out. He said, "What do you all want?" Like, we want to go to the track. But the best part was when you came underneath of him and you pop your head out. So there's the two of you with your heads out the door, and we can't see what you're doing. And it's like, we're not going to talk about it. I'm like, all right, we're going to leave it right there. But it's stuff like that just, oh my God, it's so many memories and so many fun stories.
I used to answer the front door at my parents' house like that, just in like no clothes, just wearing boxers. Like, no shame.
What do you want?
Yeah, like, give me the package.
John goes full risky business.
Oh my God. Oh man.
So what should I do next?
You tell me.
I think we should
find
get
out.
into some of our questions.
Go for it.
Oh,
I don't remember some of them.
Some of our standard interview questions. Favorite sport this is actually a really good one because I know you're a big advocate, but favorite motorsport to watch on TV?
I really like IMSA. I mean,
My man.
Yeah.
IMSA is very much like the track days we go to, just at actual race speed. You can really, I don't know, the reason why I'd get into it just because I feel like I can relate to it and empathize with it.
Speaking of IMSA, we're sitting here watching Petit Le Mans, and it just ended. And
Who won?
Van der Zand in the Cadillac won, followed
nice.
by Ricky Taylor in the Acura and Cameron in the Acura. That's DPI. LMP2 is Jensen, Braun, and McCusker. GTLM looks like the Porsche, Mikowicki, Garcia in the Corvette, and Farfus in the BMW. In GTD is Westphal in the Ferrari, Hawksworth in the Lexus, and Lowley in the Lambo.
Interesting. To your point about relating to the tracks, right? I mean, we drove Road Atlanta. So watching Road Atlanta and seeing that, I mean, to me, it's not as interesting. If Indy cars went there, meh. It's nice to see let's call them quasi-production brace cars running at the tracks that we're driving at as well.
It's like the GTLM cars or the GT cars. Those are the ones I watch. Like LMP2 cars, like I could not care this shit about.
Does LMP2 exist? It's like our website.
Whatever anything above GTLM, like
LMP2 is just for the rejects that can't make LMP1.
oh, I respect them. Like I enjoy.
They're light years ahead of me.
Yeah.
But I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's whatever.
It's like they're crazy cars, but like, are they attainable? Like, can you put yourself in those cars unless you're a hired professional driver
Or a gentleman driver. Or like we talked
like
about,
you just can't. So it's like, what's the point?
I think what cemented it for me, I mean, I've always been an IMSA, Can-Am fan, Trans Am, stuff like that, going back in the old days. But I think what really reinvigorated it was the Le Mans parties that we've done, like with the Crutchfields and the Rolex viewing parties and stuff like that. But actually going to Rolex together was like...
That was an amazing experience.
That was the greatest thing ever. I mean, and trying to stay up as long as we did. I think I got a total of maybe 2 hours of sleep or 3 hours of sleep in 24 hours.
I went to bed at 4 a.m.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
And I couldn't
Erin
sleep.
was there, right? Erin was there with you, right?
She-
Or did she not go?
No, yeah, she was there, but
then she wandered off to go work on her schoolwork or whatever.
No, she went to we had some SUV. Oh, we borrowed her parents'
Yeah.
Edge or something at the time, and she slept in the back.
Yeah.
She like created a little tent and stuff.
Oh, that's
Actually
cool.
got some real sleep.
But that was such a great trip.
Yeah.
So worth doing again. Salem's was good, all of those. But anyway, so yeah, best motorsport to watch on TV, IMSA.
I'm getting an F1 actually. The more red flags, the better. It's like
Well,
that just creates
this
a
year's
real
an
race.
anomaly.
At least you know what the
so
red flag
good.
means.
I do. Yeah.
Another question is the 3-car garage, right? Or yeah. That's
What would I put in it?
Yeah.
If you could only have 3 vehicles for the rest of your life in this mythical 3-car
Jesus.
garage.
And the 3-car garage can exist anywhere. It's like this island full
Just
of
mystical.
coconuts
It can fit like a monster.
It's
truck.
at the island of VIR.
Yeah.
Or the
Oh,
island
well,
of
I mean-
Road Atlanta or whatever.
Well,
And race cars are not excluded.
I'm gonna get around this a little bit, and I'm gonna say in bay number 1, we're gonna put a trailer, and on top of the trailer is gonna be a Ford GT, because that's like my dream.
Oh,
race
yeah.
car.
Now, is it the EcoBoost GT or the 5.4 Supercharged GT or is it the GT race car?
Current gen GT race car. I guess it'd be last gen because it's discontinued.
So the GTLM 4 GT.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. And in
I
the
love
next
that
bay,
car.
it's just empty? And the third one's a bicycle? Or
You know what?
He'd
One
have
of those
3
bays-
4 GTs.
I like your thinking.
He'd have the race car, he'd have the street car, and then the older
But you
one.
know what he wouldn't have in there? Is a Focus RS.
I wouldn't. No, not after Steve's problems. Too much overheating. You know, I would actually, for the rest of my life, God, this is hard. I'd need a truck, so I'd probably put a Raptor in there.
That's our second blue oval.
Yeah.
He's Mr. Blue Oval. What are you talking about?
You know what? The weird thing is that I grew up in Michigan. All of the people closest to me, so like my family, have all been GM related, but I've always kind of gone forward.
We won't hold that against them.
No. But it works out in both ways.
So what about your last bay?
I almost want to throw like a McLaren P1 in there.
There you go. Gotta have a
I
hypercar.
love that car. So sexy.
Would you say that's the sexiest car of all time, in your opinion?
No, the GT.
Really?
Yeah, I love the GT. But like my knowledge of cars is very limited, just because I've talked about my history a little bit. Like I didn't fanboy over cars
You are now.
growing up. A little bit, yeah. I don't necessarily seek it out. But like when I see a good looking car or a capable car, like I make note and just keep it in the back of my mind.
What do you appreciate more, or what makes a beautiful car for you more? Is it the form or the function?
Oh God! Well, function over everything. Because if you have a beautiful car that can't turn,
because we
So
had,
that's a Lamborghini. Of the old ones, right?
We had an ugly cars special that's going to come out soon, and we talked about some cars. I brought up 2 in particular that kind of go with this question: the McLaren Senna and the Lamborghini Veneno. I think it's the Veneno.
I don't think I've seen
Those
that.
cars to me are ugly, but you cannot deny
How good they are.
how excellent they are as cars, as performance cars. And does their excellence as a performance car make them a beautiful car, or is it strictly their looks, which I think are atrocious?
Maybe you're talking that tier, like performance over everything, because you got to make weird sacrifices to get the top tier
You do.
performance.
That's true.
Like you're sitting in the middle, or the cockpit's tiny, Lexan instead of glass, like everywhere. Coming to mind, like, oh shit, can I walk this back?
Yeah,
The
whatever you
McLaren
want.
P1.
Yeah.
I really like the Aston Martin Vulcan.
Yes.
Oh my god.
There's a car that he hasn't said, and I'm surprised it's not on this list because he's instructed in more than one. Because
The Viper?
Because I put him in more than one. Yes.
Oh god, that Viper. Like, I have never giggled more in my life.
Right?
Like, this. Oh, I remember.
He came up to me
Brian,
after the
yeah.
first session. He's like, "Thank you."
Glenn.
I was like, "I knew you would enjoy
I
it."
gotta say, you are super lucky. I get Focus RSs and Evos and Volkswagen Rapids.
Oh, I get all sorts of
and
crap.
Golf Rs.
Yeah.
I never get anything fun like that.
That was all Eric. He's like, I'm gonna put John on this.
I enjoyed being CI.
You're a good CI.
I know. I like putting people in things they will enjoy.
For CIs that might be listening, here's a little tip. Do not typecast. Put people in different cars and make them uncomfortable. They become better instructors because of it.
Yeah. I hate being jammed into a front wheel drive all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, please, something else for a change. Which was good this weekend. I got an M3, so whatever.
So I've got a question for John. Of all the shenanigans and trips and things that you've been on with GTM, what do you think is the most memorable, or your favorite of all the things
All the
you've
summer
done with us?
bashes, the paddock parties at pit race with the karting.
Oh,
you've been to everything.
Jesus. There's too many. How do I choose?
Yeah, top 3.
All right, well, top 3, I'd probably put pit race, Middo, Cannonball Run
the
weekend.
first Cannonball, yeah.
We destroyed one of my wheel bearings, but limped it to Columbus, picked up the last one they had at some auto zone, and
Did you hear that, folks? That's a rear-wheel drive busting a wheel bearing.
A front wheel bearing.
a front wheel bearing.
Okay, so that counts as one because it was one trip.
Yep.
What else you got?
Ooh.
2 more.
Anytime this probably isn't number 2, but like anytime we go to pit race,
Yeah.
it's always a good time.
Pit race is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's new enough for everyone that like
It's a great lap.
yeah, so much fun.
And the karting is mental.
Karting makes it worth it. Like it was worth it before, but like karting is like that cherry on top.
I wouldn't know.
Oh.
Your sound.
Next time.
Yeah.
The last one I probably put is Road Atlanta.
Yeah.
Really?
That was
Epic.
100% worth the trip. Even if I had to fight to get into a higher run group, because it was cold and I wasn't confident enough.
Hey,
to...
but we all passed the flag test, so what's up?
That's true.
I wasn't sure there for a minute.
But I got the checker flag one wrong.
Yeah.
I said it means I won HPD.
Yeah, right?
They were not.
I had to ask John what the red flag meant, though. So, would you say, because you mentioned it a couple times, would you say Road Atlanta is your number 1 track? Or what's your top 3 tracks that you've driven? You've driven a lot of tracks, and you go to all the ones we go to.
Everything within like 12 hours of my house
Yeah.
is what I've done. So you're going to have to give me a second here.
I mean, you went with us to Lime Rock. We've been everywhere.
Lime Rock's too short to really put up there, but it's fun.
But, I mean, we went. I mean,
We
you've been to
went,
all
yeah.
those crazy ones.
In Lime Rock's, it's not just about the track itself. It's about going to Lime Rock. It's such a
It's an
storied
experience,
track.
yeah.
It's pretty.
Just like Watkins Glen. Watkins Glen's an amazing track itself, but Lime Rock has the same storied history as
Yeah.
the Glen.
The 2 I want to go to that I regret not going to before I move is Palmer.
Been there, done that.
And God, there was kind of an exclusive one up there too.
Monticello?
No, but that sounds cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of it starts with I am. That doesn't help at all.
Well, there's Club Motorsport.
Club Motors
Yeah.
doesn't start with
That was on the list of things to go to this year.
too much whiskey going on here.
I will say the thing about Palmer is you climb up the hill, you come down the hill.
It is the
It looks
fastest.
fun.
It is the fastest mountain you've ever raced on.
I mean, it's the tip.
Yeah,
Peak.
Yeah, they blew the top off that thing. But
Yeah.
it's cool. It's different. I wouldn't call it a racetrack so much as it is, but it's more of a really awesome mountain road. You know, which is the same you could say about Laguna Seca at the end of the day because of the way it's constructed around the mountain. But
So I've got another question for you, and this is also for Eric too. But Erin, you are taking her track car.
I am.
yeah, how's that going to work?
No, not just how's that going to work, but we need to figure out and talk about a new track car for Erin. We need to recommend something and figure out how to keep her going and get her back out on track
That's
when
true.
John leaves.
Oh, well, now Freak Show becomes even more important.
If we pool our resources and buy a freak show, then I don't have to buy Mark Francis's. Although I still want to buy Mark Francis's car, so save me from myself.
She's driven the GTI. I don't know that was her cup of tea, but
I think she very
Different
much
animal.
likes the rear wheel drive. I think she's
Power.
in that camp, and she
And
likes
love
power. Freak show would be a good one. Maybe we get it and fix it, and then. But what else would we recommend for Erin? What can we recommend for her? She drives a Focus as her street car.
Yeah, I guess you're getting behind a Focus RS or something. You know, something has to have power.
Would she look to replace her street car and go to just one vehicle? I mean, because she'd have to. She would. She's not a truck and trailer type person, is she?
How about another
no,
Mustang?
but she would like a Mustang.
Would she do another EcoBoost or a V6? You think?
I'd push her to a V6.
I
That's
would
my
too
secret
because
agenda.
then there's less.
Could we push her to a
Concerns.
5-liter?
There's less maintenance. You don't have to worry about the exhaust problems, the manifold
no
problems, all
heating
that stuff.
problems. Yeah.
V6 would be dirt easy. I think the V8, as much as she likes power and she's a great driver, I don't think she would enjoy the V8 as much because it won't handle the same. And we talked about that.
Yeah.
So,
More finesse needed.
yeah.
So we think Erin should get a Mustang.
Yeah, that. I mean, she's a big Ford fan. What else would be rear wheel drive that we could put her
Ford? A Ford GT.
in? I mean, that's both of our dreams, but.
Nice. I think because John's leaving, Erin should go hog wild and buy a Ford GT and then rub it in
That
his
would
face.
not be fair.
I like to call- I don't-
my
I don't-
God.
She gets employee pricing.
I don't like to call it I don't like to call it leaving so much as transferring.
Yeah, he's transferring. He's joining the southern
Okay.
states region.
Yeah. So let's talk about that and
I
kind of
think-
close out the whole idea here. So you're moving to Texas here in a couple of weeks.
Damn.
So what are you thinking? I mean, it's going to be a big change coming from Michigan, then coming to the Mid Atlantic, and now going all the way into let's call it the Deep South.
The deep south.
Right.
Yeah.
I will tell you, Texas is its own country.
It is. It's quite large.
They treat it like it's its own country.
Yeah, it's its own thing.
I dated a girl once who was from Texas, and they
It's
didn't
like
have
all the rest
world
of it.
history or U.S. history. They had Texas history.
That sounds dangerous.
That sounds true.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm moving to Austin, which probably will be the most similar. I don't know, socially and environmentally to what I'm used to.
Like the Baltimore area.
Baltimore area, yeah.
Cleaner, I think. Baltimore's had a rough go of it
I
for the last few
personally
years.
don't like Baltimore. No offense to anyone who lives there.
It's got its troubles.
Still
It
better
does.
than Detroit.
That's true. Or Flint.
They got good water right here.
Great water.
Yeah,
The best.
it's tasty.
The springiest.
It's springy.
You get
it tastes like car springs.
you get the most minerals.
Yeah.
The most deposits.
Plenty of electrolytes
It's
in that
mineral water. So Austin.
Austin,
You
yeah.
had a choice between Austin and Houston.
I did. My heart is not in Houston, man.
You know, I can kind of feel you with that. Austin's got this little quirkiness to it. It's got this little personality to it.
It's the Portland of the South. You know.
Yeah. Essentially,
they
yes.
have a slogan, which is like keep Austin weird.
You need to start like an Austinlandia.
Austin,
Oh, wow.
Like Portland.
I'd watch that.
I would totally watch that.
Nah, I mean, I'm basically choosing it over Houston because of a couple of reasons. Like most people I talk to, like just rave over Austin, versus Houston. It's kind of like
It's just another big city.
It's another big city. It's flat. Like everyone I talk to, like the only thing Rick can really tell me about it is like they have great like international food options.
They do. I will say that. I mean,
Which is
so for
great.
me, where my sister is in northern Houston, it's like Northern Virginia. Like when I first went there, my first impression was like, "Oh, great, I'm in Herndon." Right?
Yeah.
I'm like, "Great, yay, whatever." And so, but that's also because you have a lot of transplants that came from that area and they recreated.
Because
the
there's
way they
lots of
remember it.
companies that move from places up here to places down there.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's also a big port for immigration and
Now, I will say, when we went to Austin to go to COTA a couple years back, it was kind of, I will say the traffic around Austin was kind of wacko. It's Looney Tunes kind of like Pittsburgh is, where it's like ramp here, bridge there, go there, underpass, overpass, you know, and Houston's like giant beltways. It's just rings.
With like
it's much more, it's much like
7-lane
they have like
roads.
7 beltways, right? I mean, it's just different, right? And it's unique, and I mean, it's cool. And again, you don't feel like you're in, you know, anywhere else in Texas. If you
It's got its own feel
thing.
to it.
It's
yeah.
not like Dallas or any of the other places or whatever. But yeah, I mean, you're gonna be right there, and then you got COTA like in your backyard. I mean,
Yeah.
how can you beat that? Right?
You know, I will say that one of my decision criteria for Austin was the central location that between each track in Texas. Like if you live in Austin, you're essentially 2.5 hours from every track in the state, which is great because like if I end up getting a track car or something, like I could just like get a garage at COTA or something.
Yeah, exactly.
And just be like whatever.
But you've also got Eagles Canyon, you've
Yeah.
got Grand Sport, you've got MSR, you've got NOLA, which is a bit more of a stretch.
It's only 8 hours.
But you've got a lot of tracks in that area, and people don't realize, because that's a lot of my criteria when I look at like where else could I live in the States. I always want to, because I'm never going to lose this hobby. I may not do it as much as I do it now, or maybe I'll do it more. I don't know. Things change, right? But like if we moved, I was always like, I got to be close to something, and I always targeted like the Tennessee Valley, so I could be between Barber and Road Atlanta and AMP and, you know, all those, and get to NCM, because if you look at that area, you know, that kind of that eastern Tennessee, it's kind of like Austin. It's kind of 2.5, 3 hours to everything, and you're there. And Mid-Ohio is not a stretch when you're at that point. It's actually closer than where we are now. But we're very fortunate. I mean, the U.S. has, what, like 80 tracks in it or whatever? It's more, the more you realize.
East Coast has the majority.
Oh,
too.
yeah. Oh, the really famous ones outside of, like, Laguna Seca and some of those, right? But, yeah, no, that's cool, man. I mean, that's going to be a lot of fun. So.
Yeah.
But, you know, lots of big changes. New job, new scenery. I mean,
New everything.
Yeah, new everything.
Yeah. The only friend I think I'll have in Texas is Tanya.
But, hey, that's not a bad thing.
No, not at all.
So
She's
You're
only a
gonna
couple hours
champion
away.
that region, that's for sure.
that's right. Get that Beetle back on track, you know.
And we welcome any Texas members that you want to come up with if you start
Oh, yeah.
working and have new people that are into cars and stuff?
Yeah, we want to build out Southern States, man.
I think at work we have like a car enthusiast channel in Slack, which is like hundreds of people in it.
Oh wow.
I
So I post there all the time.
I think you're going to be a default crew chief, whether you like it or not, just because of the numbers of the region. You're just a
We're hosting an
champion
event
anyway.
for 2 people.
Well, I mean,
That's not
and
true,
for
but-
our listeners, I mean, Southern States is probably the largest land mass we have because it goes from Richmond to Florida and then all the way over through Texas. So it captures all of those people that are kind of sprinkled throughout there.
All 3 or 4.
Yeah,
of them.
well, I mean, the Wades and the Saunderies and whatever. I mean, we pick up all those folks along the way. And so, you know, I'm not saying Tanya has a challenging job with her region, but, you know, there's room to grow it. There's tons of car people that are transplants from the East Coast that are down there now. And there were some people here this weekend that were up from Houston and from Texas, you know, racing there. I want to race at VIR. You know, my home track Coda, my home track's MSR.
That's
or
a
whatever.
long drive.
It is. It is.
Oh my god.
But for those that are listening, John has graciously decided to host a happy hour his first week in Texas. So if anybody's down in the Austin area, the second weekend of November,
Oh, yeah.
look for that
Yeah.
date.
Yeah, we'll make it dirty. Go to Barbarella's or something.
Awesome. But yeah, you get to enjoy. We were talking about it at dinner tonight. You get to enjoy stuff like South by Southwest, and there's going to be a lot of cool stuff. There's just you're gonna have fun.
You get to Lake Travis there too. We can do some motor boating.
Eric's not a boater.
You don't go what?
What? If it's got an engine, I'm gonna run it.
I always heard you weren't much of a boater.
Oh no, I'm deathly afraid of the water. But you know, hey, I'm gonna do it anyway.
All right. Well, we got a
I'm gonna
lake.
send it.
You better come out.
I'm gonna do it.
We're gonna go like.
We're going to rent a
65.
pontoon boat,
Oh yeah.
a GTM boat party.
Oh
Do
yeah.
it.
Can we put a slalom course up? That'll have a lot of fun.
In the water, that'd be fun.
Yeah, wouldn't it
Get a
be?
jet boat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Top fuel.
Or just
drag
rent
boats.
a bunch of jet skis and do a race.
I'm down with that.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Not a lot. There's a lot of beachfront in Texas. Not a lot of ocean.
We got the whole Gulf.
That's true.
I mean, that's like hundreds of miles.
I mean, with all
Yeah, but you're going to be west of that.
a lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna be
A lot
very
west.
central.
Yeah.
A little south central. Yeah. Which doesn't have, but I mean, there's plenty of lakes and stuff.
Or we meet up at Coda, or we meet up at NCM, right?
That's,
Or some of those
how
tracks.
far would NCM be?
I don't know. You got to figure it out from Austin.
I mean, NOLA's 8 hours.
That's within his 12-hour.
But like
Limit.
NCM is
That's
so
true.
west in Kentucky, it's like you might as well be in whatever.
I will
next
literally be
is.
driving right by NCM on my way to Texas.
Oh, nice.
You should stop. You should see who's running.
Just stop there and be
Go to
like,
the museum.
yo,
break
give
it
me
up.
Yeah, go
one
to the
session.
museum. You need to turn your trip down into a road trip, like a legit road trip.
No, I am currently. I'm stopping in Lexington and Louisville and trying to hit up like as many distilleries as possible to refill my bar.
You should stop at NCM and do a tour of the factory and see if you can send it a C8.
Yeah,
Or go to the museum, check out the sinkhole
Yeah.
and all the other stuff.
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I'll add that to the agenda.
I mean,
And
if
you
you're,
gotta
passing,
go-
if you're passing through Bowling Green,
Yeah,
it's
driving
right off the highway. You might
right
as
past
well.
it.
And you got to go back to that restaurant with all the bars hanging from the ceiling.
Oh,
I mean,
the
all
bras?
the bras hanging from
The
the
bras.
ceiling.
It's called the Pit Stop, I think that place is called.
Yeah,
It's
I
in
think so.
Paddock, pal. You can look it up.
I'm sure Shively knows.
Oh, yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. But at any rate, well, that's cool, you know. And again, we're looking forward to it. You'll be missed, but you won't be far. It's not like you're not getting abducted by aliens or
No.
going to Peru.
You're only a
So-
Slack message away.
I am a Slack message away, or a call or a text,
That's the beauty of it all.
Or a Zoom call.
or a Zoom call.
Except it's gonna suck walking around the pack. Where's John? Shit.
That's right, he's in Austin.
Yeah. Damn it. Oh well.
Hey, that just means you come to me.
I know, right?
That's how it goes.
That's the beauty of it.
Well, I guess we've beaten this dead horse.
I know. Unless you want to repeat whatever you said at dinner, just for sanity's sake.
What did I say then?
I don't remember what you said. It was very schmoopy.
Schmoopy?
The cheers.
Oh, well,
Or
we're
the-
gonna miss John. He's been a fantastic member, and he's going to continue to be a fantastic member, even though he's 1,000, 1,500 miles away or whatever. He's still going to be with us in our hearts and on our Slack and Zoom and everything. So, thank you for the good times, and we can hope that you have a nice, happy future.
Absolutely.
Indeed.
Godspeed. And send it.
Send it.
Still gonna send it.
Still gonna send it.
If you like what you've heard and want to learn more about GTM, be sure to check us out on www.gtmotorsports.org. You can also find us on Instagram at Grand Touring Motorsports. Also, if you want to get involved or have suggestions for future shows, you can call or text us at 202-630-1770 or send us an email at crewchief@gtmotorsports.org. We'd love to hear from you.
Hey listeners, Crew Chief Eric here. Do you like what you've seen, heard, and read from GTM? Great, so do we, and we have a lot of fun doing it. But please remember, we're fueled by volunteers and remain a no annual fee organization. But we still need help to keep the momentum going so that we can continue to record, write, edit, and broadcast all of your favorite content. So be sure to visit www.patreon.com/GT Motorsports or visit our website and click in the top right corner on the support and donate to learn how you can help.